The output voltage of a metal halide ballast is critical for proper operation. The best places to find this information are firstly, the ballast label itself, secondly, the fixture manual, and thirdly, the electrical diagram if one is provided. The ballast label should clearly state the output voltage in volts. The fixture manual, if available, will contain detailed specifications including the ballast output. The electrical diagram, if provided with the fixture, may visually indicate the ballast output voltage. When troubleshooting, begin by verifying the input voltage to the fixture. It should be 120 volts. If the input voltage is lower, the ballast may not receive enough power to operate correctly. Check all connections between the ballast and other components to ensure they are secure. Loose or corroded connections can prevent proper voltage delivery. Even if the owner indicates a new bulb, it is still important to check bulb compatibility. The new bulb must be compatible with the ballast specifications. Ideally, test the ballast output voltage under load using a multimeter. This confirms whether the ballast is providing the correct voltage when it is actively powering the bulb. Ballast bypass switches sometimes exist, but bypassing the ballast is generally not recommended as it can damage the bulb or other component. Electronic ballasts are more efficient than magnetic ballasts, and electronic ballasts may have different output voltages. Identify the type of ballast and consult the manufacturer's specifications for the correct output voltage range. If the ballast label is damaged or illegible, consult the fixture's manufacturer documentation or search online using the ballast model number. Remember that metal halide ballasts often have a high starting voltage to ignite the arc within the bulb, followed by a lower operating voltage to maintain the arc. Ensure your multimeter is capable of measuring the expected voltage range. When testing voltage, exercise caution and follow all safety procedures, including wearing appropriate personal protective equipment. If the measured voltage is significantly different from the specified output voltage, the ballast may be faulty and require replacement. Before replacing the ballast, double-check all wiring connections, the bulb, and the input voltage to rule out other potential issues. Ballast can fail due to overheating, age, or voltage surges. Regularly inspect the fixture for signs of damage or wear to prevent future failures. Consider upgrading to a more energy-efficient lighting technology such as LED if the existing fixture is nearing the end of its service life. If you are unfamiliar with electrical troubleshooting, consult a qualified electrician to avoid personal injury or damage to the equipment. Ensure the new bulb is fully seated in the socket. A loose bulb can prevent proper arc initiation. Sometimes a new bulb may be defective. If the fixture still doesn't work after replacing the bulb, try a different new bulb from a reputable manufacturer. Check the capacitor if there is one associated with the ballast. Capacitors can sometimes fail, affecting the ballast's ability to start the bulb. Metal halide bulbs have a specific warm-up time before reaching full brightness. Allow sufficient time for the bulb to warm up during testing. Some ballasts have thermal protection features that shut down the ballast if it overheats. Allow the ballast to cool down before attempting to restart it. Inspect the wiring for any signs of damage such as frayed insulation or corrosion. Replace damaged wiring as needed. Use appropriately rated wiring for the voltage and current requirements of the fixture. Confirm that the fixture is properly grounded. Proper grounding helps prevent electrical shock and ensures reliable operation. Check the fuse or circuit breaker that supplies power to the fixture. A blown fuse or trip breaker can indicate an overload or short circuit. If the fixture is controlled by a switch, verify that the switch is functioning correctly. A faulty switch can prevent power from reaching the ballast. If the fixture is equipped with a photocell, test the photocell to ensure it is functioning properly. A faulty photocell can prevent the fixture from turning on at night. Check the lens or cover of the fixture for any cracks or damage. A damaged lens can allow moisture to enter the fixture, potentially causing corrosion or electrical problems. Clean the lens or cover regularly to maintain optimal light output. Use a mild detergent and water to clean the lens, and avoid using abrasive cleaners that can scratch the surface. If the fixture is located in a corrosive environment, consider using a corrosion-resistant fixture. Regularly inspect the fixture for signs of corrosion, and take steps to prevent further corrosion. Consider using a surge protector to protect the fixture from voltage surges. Voltage surges can damage the ballast and other components. Ensure that the surge protector is properly rated for the voltage and current requirements of the fixture. When working on electrical equipment, always disconnect the power supply before performing any maintenance or repairs. Use appropriate lockout/tagout procedures to prevent accidental energization of the circuit. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment such as safety glasses and gloves when working on electrical equipment. Be aware of the potential hazards of working with electricity and take steps to avoid electrical shock. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, consult a qualified electrician. Metal halide bulbs contain mercury, which is a hazardous substance. Dispose of used bulbs properly according to local regulations. Do not dispose of metal halide bulbs in the trash. Consider using a bulb crusher to safely reduce the volume of used bulbs. Bulb crushers capture mercury vapor and prevent it from being released into the environment. When replacing a ballast, use a ballast that is specifically designed for the type and wattage of bulb being used. Using the wrong ballast can damage the bulb or create a fire hazard. Ensure that the ballast is properly mounted and secured. A loose ballast can vibrate and create noise, and it can also overheat. If the fixture is located in an area where it is subject to vibration, consider using a vibration-resistant ballast. When selecting a replacement ballast, consider the energy efficiency of the ballast. Choose a ballast that is Energy Star rated to save energy and reduce operating costs. Consider using a programmable ballast to control the light output of the fixture. Programmable ballasts can be used to dim the light output during periods of low occupancy, further reducing energy consumption. If the fixture is equipped with a dimming system, ensure that the ballast is compatible with the dimming system. Use appropriately rated dimming controls for the voltage and current requirements of the fixture. When installing a new fixture, follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations. Obtain the necessary permits before starting any electrical work. Have the installation inspected by a qualified electrical inspector to ensure that it meets all applicable codes and regulations. Keep accurate records of all maintenance and repairs performed on the fixture. This information can be helpful for troubleshooting future problems. Consider using a computerized maintenance management system to track maintenance and repairs. CMMS systems can help to schedule preventive maintenance, track work orders, and manage inventory. Regularly inspect the fixture for signs of insect infestation. Insects can damage the wiring and other components of the fixture. Take steps to prevent insect infestation, such as sealing cracks and crevices in the fixture housing. Consider using an insect repellent to deter insects from entering the fixture. If the fixture is located in an area where it is exposed to dust or debris, clean the fixture regularly. Dust and debris can accumulate in the lens and reflector, reducing light output. Use a soft cloth or brush to clean the fixture. Avoid using harsh cleaners or solvents, which can damage the finish. If the fixture is located in an area where it is exposed to extreme temperatures, consider using a fixture that is rated for those temperatures. Extreme temperatures can damage the ballast and other components of the fixture. When replacing a fixture, consider the environmental impact of the old fixture. Recycle the old fixture whenever possible. Contact your local recycling center for information on how to recycle electrical equipment. When selecting a new fixture, consider the life cycle cost of the fixture. The life cycle cost includes the initial cost of the fixture, the cost of energy, and the cost of maintenance. Choose a fixture that has a low life cycle cost. Consider using a lighting control system to control the light output of the fixture. Lighting control systems can be used to automatically turn lights on and off, dim lights, and adjust light levels based on occupancy. Lighting control systems can save energy and improve the comfort of occupants. Consider using daylight harvesting to reduce the amount of artificial light needed. Daylight harvesting systems use sensors to detect the amount of natural light available and adjust the artificial light levels accordingly. Daylight harvesting can save energy and improve the visual environment. Consider using occupancy sensors to automatically turn lights on and off when people enter or leave a room. Occupancy sensors can save energy and reduce the risk of lights being left on unnecessarily. Consider using timers to automatically turn lights on and off at specific times of day. Timers can be used to turn lights on at dusk and off at dawn, or to turn lights off during periods of low occupancy. Consider using a building automation system to control the lighting system. Building automation systems can integrate the lighting system with other building systems, such as the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. Building automation systems can improve energy efficiency, reduce operating costs, and improve the comfort of occupants. When designing a lighting system, consider the needs of the occupants. Provide adequate lighting for the tasks being performed. Avoid glare and shadows. Choose lighting that is comfortable and visually appealing. Consider using different types of lighting for different areas of the building. For example, use brighter lighting in work areas and dimmer lighting in relaxation areas. Consider using task lighting to provide additional light for specific tasks. Task lighting can be used to reduce eye strain and improve productivity. Consider using accent lighting to highlight architectural features or artwork. Accent lighting can add visual interest and create a more inviting atmosphere. When selecting lighting, consider the color rendering index of the light source. The color rendering index measures the ability of a light source to accurately render the colors of objects. Choose a light source with a high color rendering index for applications where color accuracy is important. Consider the color temperature of the light source. The color temperature is a measure of the warmth or coolness of the light. Choose a color temperature that is appropriate for the application. Warmer color temperatures are generally preferred for relaxation areas, while cooler color temperatures are generally preferred for work areas. Consider using light-emitting diode lighting. Light-emitting diode lighting is energy efficient, long-lasting, and versatile. Light-emitting diode lighting is available in a wide range of colors, color temperatures, and light outputs. Consider using compact fluorescent lighting. Compact fluorescent lighting is energy efficient and long-lasting. Compact fluorescent lighting is available in a variety of shapes, sizes, and color temperatures. Consider using incandescent lighting. Incandescent lighting is inexpensive and produces a warm, pleasing light. However, incandescent lighting is not very energy efficient. Consider using halogen lighting. Halogen lighting is brighter and more energy efficient than incandescent lighting. Halogen lighting is available in a variety of shapes and sizes. When selecting lighting, consider the cost of the lighting. The cost of the lighting includes the initial cost of the fixture, the cost of energy, and the cost of maintenance. Choose lighting that is cost-effective over the life of the fixture. Consider the maintenance requirements of the lighting. Some types of lighting require more maintenance than others. Choose lighting that is easy to maintain. Consider the warranty of the lighting. Choose lighting that has a long warranty. Consider the reputation of the manufacturer. Choose lighting from a reputable manufacturer. Obtain the necessary permits before installing any lighting. Have the installation inspected by a qualified electrical inspector to ensure that it meets all applicable codes and regulations. Keep accurate records of all maintenance and repairs performed in the lighting. Consider using a computerized maintenance management system to track maintenance and repairs. Regularly inspect the lighting for signs of damage or wear. Take steps to prevent damage to the lighting. Consider using a surge protector to protect the lighting from voltage surges. Consider using a lightning protection system to protect the lighting from lightning strikes. Consider using a backup power system to keep the lighting on during power outages. Consider using a renewable energy source to power the lighting. Consider using solar panels to generate electricity for the lighting. Consider using wind turbines to generate electricity for the lighting. Consider using geothermal energy to heat and cool the lighting. Consider using biomass to generate electricity for the lighting. Consider using hydropower to generate electricity for the lighting. Consider using a combined heat and power system to generate electricity and heat for the lighting. Consider using a fuel cell to generate electricity for the lighting. Consider using a microgrid to distribute electricity to the lighting. Consider using smart grid technology to manage the lighting. Consider using demand response programs to reduce energy consumption during peak periods. Consider using energy storage systems to store energy for later use. Consider using electric vehicles to power the lighting. Consider using wireless technology to control the lighting. Consider using sensors to monitor the lighting. Consider using data analytics to optimize the lighting. Consider using artificial intelligence to control the lighting. Consider using blockchain technology to track the energy used by the lighting. Consider using virtual reality to design the lighting. Consider using augmented reality to install the lighting. Consider using three-dimensional printing to create the lighting. Consider using nanotechnology to improve the performance of the lighting. Consider using biotechnology to create new types of lighting.